kill. And just about yeah, I mean, Forgotten Gaming as well. Let's not forget, they are currently participating in Hontour, of course, and they are currently in the Gold League and do have the potential to get into the Diamond League as well. So, you know, they are a very well-versed Hon team. And, you know, in terms of Australian international Hon teams that are 100% Australian, Forgotten Gaming, this is who you should be barracking for, as we actually see Kaiser Prime just doing a little bit of damage onto Boo-Boo there of Harry Shell. Actually, a lot of damage, in fact. Boo-Boo gets dropped to, you know, below 600 health, and yeah, it's quite a bit of damage from that relentless salvo of Silhouette.
Yeah, if you want to come up against that bear, I think a Silhouette, you're in an okay position with that relentless salvo. He's going to have a little bit of a hard time farming underneath the tower though, and he's definitely going to stay there, so that's not going to get pushed back too far. So you're not going to get like a double push happening or anything like that. But Ophelia moving into that middle lane here with that Minotaur, the perfect creep for this. Magma stun coming out, and Aluna will just completely melt. Magma's in a little bit of trouble though. One more auto attack might take him out. He is able to get out of there. Pharaoh, no friends, jumping back. So we got 2 for 0 at the moment in the favor of Forgotten Gaming. And looks like Parasite's actually going to run near Ophelia here. No, he's not going to get close enough to steal a creep or anything. And Ophelia might go back into her own jungle now and try and maximize those creeps up there. Yeah,
maybe. I mean, Ophelia was just a great gank there down in the mid lane. Currently, Ophelia is sitting on 0-0-2, decent amount of gold per minute as well. For this very early stage of the game, of course. Meanwhile, down in bottom, let's take a look at how that lane's going. We've actually got Polywog facing off against King Dryhump on the bubbles in that lane. Currently, that is four creeps on the bubbles compared to Polywog's 9 at the moment. So, you know, Polywog doing a nice job early on in that lane.
Yeah, but the gold per minute is still in favour of that bubble, sitting at 415, mostly because of that Bloodlust kill, of course. So he will be doing decently, I imagine. Bubbles is a very strong solo. Even against a Polywog Priest, he should be okay. And we go back to that middle lane. Aluna's actually coming in here in Viz. They don't have any wards, so the Hellborn team might not have spotted her. And Magma's potentially going to get in a little bit of trouble here, as there are a number of creeps nearby. Just be interesting to see if Aluna can set something up. The Tormented Soul coming out, trying to nuke them down a little bit, trying to keep them low, so they could potentially jump. Aluna still has 28 seconds on that invis, not trying to use it early by any means. But they may know she's nearby. They may just try and be a little bit careful. While that's happening, though, top lane, Wild Soul in a little bit of trouble as Ophelia has roamed top now. Boo-Boo doing what it can against that Wild Soul. The Minotaur stun coming out, the root entanglement coming up onto Silhouette, but it's not going to matter. T-Bizzle getting credit for the kill onto Harry Shell. As that happens, though, Aluna actually goes for the power throw, but a bit of miscommunication. The mummy walls end up coming out, and Magnus moves him out of the way, so I'm not quite sure about that one. Glacius does go down anyway, but at what cost? Obviously that Pharaoh going down as well, and I just missed that Bubbles going down in the bottom lane to lock Shadow.
Wow, so much action happening here in this game. Currently 2 for 4. We got 6 kills that have already happened by the 3-minute stage of the game, and wow, this is pretty intense. So yeah, that killing mid, I suppose No Friends did get the experience for the kill. I think he died second, so that is some consolation at least to Zenith Gaming in that mid lane. And yeah, just looking down at bot as well, got King Dryhump on the bubbles. You know, he's starting to get a little bit further back into this lane at the moment. 12 creeps to Polywog's 18, so Polywog's still ahead, still maintaining that healthy lead. Meanwhile, Ophelia, who's level 3, got that Minotaur as well. Just moving by the rune. Looks like Ophelia's just returning to her own jungle as well.
Yeah, I do like the fact that she rotated to the top, keeps the Hellborn team on their toes, and obviously was able to make some work there. Parasite's had some time to solo jungle himself. You know, he's got his farm back up a little bit now. Sitting at 250, he's finished that mana ring, that's definitely going to help. And Pharaoh is still sitting in that middle lane. He does have a haste rune though. There's not much the Hellborn team's going to be able to do, even if they were to stack those stuns up and hurt him a little bit. Stun actually coming out from a Luna, but more just for harass than anything, driving them back under their own tower.
Yeah, absolutely. As we actually see the health pod used there on Red Bull Cannon, the Magnus. So it's going to just be sustaining a little bit. Meanwhile, we've got Lock Shadow. He's in a Wild Hunter at the moment, so who knows? He might try for a gank onto King Dryhump. But King Dryhump, I think he suspects something up. He's not too close to his cribs, and Lock Shadow, he's going to get the crit off from Invis and hit King Dryhump a few more times, but he's just going to back out in the end. And yeah, up in the top lane as well, Harry Shell on that Wild Soul, just looking at his items, he's actually got a very early Mystic Vestment, so he wants to survive being bursts. We actually see an engage here in the mid lane. No Friends gets stunned up there. He does have the haste through, not going to be able to use it though. Shane stun just too much for him to handle. Forgotten Gaming pick up another kill, which goes to T-Bizzle.
Yeah, so 2 for 5 now. A lot of action happening in this game, and obviously a lot of it going on the side of Forgotten Gaming. They're about 2k gold lead at the moment, definitely showing through from those kills, from that Bloodlust as well. Silhouette farming pretty comfortably at 313 gold per minute in that solo role in that top lane, picking up her steam boots. Bubble's not having a hard time, but he's getting harassed out of the lane a fair bit, but you expect that, obviously, for a suicide. The real thing will be whether this Pharaoh and this Polywog can make something happen now that Polywog is level 7, whether they'll try and group up and push a lane, or lock down this Bubbles and try and get a kill. I think Bubbles might have seen that Wild Hunter in Viz, or he might have even heard it, so he's backing right off there, does not want to run into anyone. Leech coming out from Parasite just to drive him back.
Yeah, so King Dryhump on the Bubbles doesn't have a level in take cover yet, so still opting for that very high damage build. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, in fact, you see Wild Soul there. Harry Shell is taking a little bit of harass. He's not having the easiest time against his Silos, so it's a good lane matchup for Forgotten Gaming. Currently, Silos on 36 creeps with 15 denies to Harry Shell's 12 and 9. So doing a nice job there early in the top lane is Silo. In the mid, Magnus still farming that one up, so Magnus on 23 creeps against, I suppose, Pharaoh's 24, so very, very even in that lane, although Magnus does have quite a few more denies than Pharaoh as well.
Bubbles is nearby, though. He might be able to set up this kelp field right now. There goes the kelp field, there goes the stun from Magnus, the eruption. Stun going on to that Glacius, though, so Glacius in a little bit of trouble. Magnus and Pharaoh both going down, but Ophelia is here, and he does have 2 Minotaurs ready to stun. Will he be able to get the stun off on a Luna? He does, cancelling that Luna pot as well. The second Minotaur stun comes out, and the pause goes off just as your boy Harry ends up going down there. Parasite is nearby. He does have the face hug, and this gives him a little bit of time to do the math here about whether or not he will be able to take out this Bubbles, or maybe the Ophelia. Potentially going for that Bubbles would be the better bet, although as Bubbles doesn't have take cover, although he obviously can't know that, and Ophelia might just be able to teleport that Bubbles back to base if he does get jumped there.
Yeah, Bubbles currently has 437 health and 5 magic armor. Of course, the recent magic armor changes gave Bubbles a little bit of a touch down rather, to his magic armor from the standard 5.5. So, Lock Shadow, he's got that face hug, which currently deals 200 magic damage. Leech, which is dealing an extra 200. So, maybe a couple of those piled in with an auto attack or two with the draining venom probably will be enough to finish Bubbles, but the question is, will he be able to get that off and get out safely afterwards? So it'll be interesting to see what he tries here.
I mean, he might be able to jump in a Minotaur minion, although the Minotaur obviously doesn't have any mana left, so he's not going to be able to stun with it. But as a hasty escape, it might be worthwhile. I'm not sure. At the very least, he might just jump in it to deny it from Ophelia taking it back. If Ophelia's quick, though, and I have seen this, as he goes to jump in the Minotaur just beforehand, she may trigger to send it back, and that would actually cause Parasite to get sent back to the Hellborn base. So I'll be keeping my camera locked on there as the pause timer comes out, just to see what Parasite decides to do. Obviously, he might just end up going off to the side and going back through the jungle to back off a little bit, deciding not to get keen. I believe they won't have vision of him. Unfortunately, we can't change vision, I don't think, to be able to see, but we'll see how we go. As we were talking about, Kaiser Prime just farming up some gold there. He's got 700 so far, assumedly going for something like a Null Stone, which would be very powerful against a Parasite, Polywog, and an Aluna. And obviously, a pretty standard item on that silhouette. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was just absolutely agreeing with you there. The Nullstone pickup on Kaiser Prime would really help him in this game. Polywog Priest, a hero who Nullstone absolutely helps against. Polywog currently, he's dealing 300 magic damage with that electric jolt, and once Chaos for Life picks up a portal key on that poly, it becomes really hard to to farm when you don't know where he is, purely because Polywog just has so much burst, so much lockdown that he can reasonably easily get some solo kills onto whoever he wants once he gets that Pika.
See Wild Soul off to the side here. He's backed off a fair bit, obviously taking a lot of harass. Boo Boo up in the front lines there. Not many items for Wild Soul. He does have that Mystic Vestments. That's not really going to help him against the Silhouette, but it's going to help him against the rest of the team, of course. Obviously the Bubbles, Ophelia to a certain extent, Magnus and Glacius. Be interesting to see how this Polywog Priest goes as well. He's decided to go for the Phase Boots. He still has that little mark of the Novice, so potentially can still go for something like a Mana Ring if they want a second Mana Ring on that team, or even a Grave Locket, which would be a more standard item, I'd imagine. And I'm not quite sure what the pause is about.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's try and check that out. Okay, Purple just said 2 minutes, so it should be back hopefully very soon. And in the meantime, just looking at Harry Shell's items up in the top line there. He's still only got those Mystic Vestments, 500 gold in the bank. It's taking a look at Boobo's items as well. Boobo's only got that Logger's Hatcher and Iron Buckler that he started off with. So, Harry Shell's not having the greatest of times up here in the top lane. So, looks like we're going to get this game underway reasonably quickly even. As someone has the... one of them, Kaiser's mum has the best cooking 2012, so and Harry Shell giving a shout out to Brim, aka Best Admin, aka Big Slammer, as we get this game unpaused there, and that is going to be a kill onto Bubbles, I think. Yes, Parasite picking up that one. Shellsafe not getting Bubbles out in time, and Parasite without Bird's not going to be able to follow up on this Ophelia anymore.
Yeah, he throws the leech out, which gives him a little bit of movement speed, but nowhere enough by any means. Ophelia does have a fair bit of gold saved up, though, as she does get out of there alive and looks to be picking up a haste rune here. Going to head back into that jungle, potentially pick up some of these creeps. She does have a Minotaur or a Vulture Lord available, and ends up going for that Vulture Lord, the first one she sees. That's going to be fine. Pharaoh sitting around in that middle lane still. He is level 5. He does not have that Wrath of the Pharaoh yet. But it looks like the Hellborn team, Forgotten Gaming, grouping up in this bottom lane. Chaos for Life could be in a little bit of trouble. Magma Stun coming in. The Glacial Imprisonment coming out as well. The Shell Surf coming from Bubbles does not even need the Kelp Field, which he didn't have. And it looks like they're going to group up and push this lane. Unless Parasite can come in and defend, which is probably going to be a little bit difficult. So maybe the Pharaoh and Aluna, neither of them have teleports, so they might just try and put some pressure on that mid tower. As there's not really much they can do to defend this unless they get some teleport stones delivered in the next few seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this tower is dropping very, very fast, and got 3 members of Forgotten Gaming hammering onto it. I think this is a free tower in their favour. We got Parasite reasonably close by in the jungle. He's not going to try any shenanigans there, just continuing to farm up those little ogres. And he's picked up boots now, so probably be expecting to see him go Ghost Marches, then something like a Codex, like we saw that was so effective on Slicks in the Bronze Final. So yeah, meanwhile up in the top lane, Silo got that live gear. As you said, probably going to be building into the Nullstone as well. Just to offer Silo a nice amount of kind of safety in lane. But